I can promise you that today's review definitely wasn't influenced by SwitchBot. Hey guys, for years now SwitchBot has been getting away with not having smart plug in their ecosystem. I mean, they have these awesome tiny little bots that basically are designed to click various buttons and switches. But you can only go so far without having one of those mundane devices, and today is the video in which we're going to talk about the SwitchBot first smart plug and power meter in one. And I'm going to start with the disappointing news. If you're not from US, chances are you're not going to have access to it, which is really disappointing. I'm in UK and, well, I'm lucky to have one of those, even though I can't really use it because, well, UK plugs, right? But if you are not from US, don't switch off just yet because I've got a message for you. Alright, now for a couple of days there is a SwitchBot promotion with discounts up to 40%, which means even though you might not be able to get one of these for about £9, but what you can get is, for example, a SwitchBot meter for £9, which is one of the best temperatures and humidity sensors with the displays you can get right now. So do check it out. As for anyone else interested in a SwitchBot Plug Mini with a power meter inside, well, that's the video for you. If you've been to UK, you know I'm in a pickle because this is US plug on both ends, which means I'm gonna need a couple of those adapters to actually connect the SwitchBot plug to my mains and test it out. And while the design itself might not be compatible with UK sockets, the plug fortunately is 220 or 240 in this case tolerant, so it didn't explode as soon as I connected it to the mains, which is a good thing. That means that the same design is going to be eventually used for other regions, including European Union and hopefully UK, although the name might change. This is a SwitchBot Plug Mini, and when it comes to the sizes of the UK plugs, I don't think the Mini really applies. But anyway, this is a smart plug which is rated for up to 15 amps or 1875 watts, which is enough for most of the smaller appliances. You're probably not going to go crazy on it, but for any home use that should be plenty to toggle your devices. And as I already mentioned, it has a power meter built into it. And this is already exciting because, well, there are not that many smart plugs with power meter capabilities, not in this price point, because without any discount codes, this plug is $11.99. Which is, hey, this is super tempting. Now the plug has a single LED to give you information about the status and a button for pairing or toggling it manually. So there isn't really much to talk about it. Now the shape of the plug indicates that it's going to be really well suited for those vertical sockets in US. So if you have those, don't fret, SwitchBot has got you covered. So let's move to the exciting bits, I mean the SwitchBot apps and use cases. I'm a big fan of Bluetooth because SwitchBot makes it super easy to actually connect to everything in their ecosystem, and you don't actually have to use Wi-Fi to steer their devices. You can do it directly over the Bluetooth if you don't want to connect it to a cloud. But this has Wi-Fi 2.4 GHz to be precise and will connect to your local network, and you don't need a hub to add it to your SwitchBot cloud. Friends on the other side of the pond that are also iPhone fans, they won't be disappointed because, well, SwitchBot has these tiny little stickers which indicate HomeKit support. Now personally I wasn't able to try out myself because I'm not an Apple person and I refuse to get an iPhone just for the sake of saying yeah, it works. But in my test with Android apps I had no problem operating this plug at all, and it works quite fast. Apart from the usual smart plug thingies like, well, toggling it on and off, you have also access to schedules, timers and delayed toggles, so you can, toggle it on or off a bit later. But one of the cool things that I've noticed also was an option for mistouch protection, which can be handy actually if you want to prevent someone else accidentally disconnecting, I don't know, a pump running in your back. I guess with that in-app authorization they took the idea from my two-factor authentication in Node-RED, something I've introduced for all my devices if needed be. If you're interested in that, there's a video there for you. But anyway, As it's a part of SwitchBot ecosystem, you can also integrate it with typical voice assistant, meaning Alexa and Google Home, through the associated skill. The integration is super simple, and yeah, rename your plug and you can start using it remotely. But what is really exciting, especially in the times when the electricity is super expensive, is the ability to monitor how much your devices are consuming power, because it comes handy when it comes to curbing that bill. And once connected, you can start receiving live power consumption data to your app, so you know what's going on. And that data is separated into different categories. So you can get energy in kilowatt hours. There is a power on duration, which is handy when it comes to monitoring how long the device stays on. There is obviously a power in watts, so total power consumption, and you have access to also current in amps and voltage in volts. Lastly, you can take that energy consumption, compare it with yesterday, so you always know whether you're on track with your consumption. But in order to call that SwitchBot Plug Mini smart, we have to use it in a smart way, and this is where SwitchBot ecosystem comes into play, because you can access that power consumption and use it as a trigger. So that way you can either link threshold power consumption to an event or get a notification, or simply just shut off the power supply to device linked to the smart plug. I've actually used power meter as trigger in one of my previous projects. I have a dumb washing machine which isn't smart, but I've used the power meter to actually monitor the consumption of the washing cycle, and this way I can very accurately get notifications when the wash cycle is completed and let myself know that it's time to take out the washing. It's a very robust profile and very accurate, so go check it out. But with a bit of effort you can actually recreate this with a SwitchBot Plug Mini. All you have to do is just either get a peak power consumption on your cycle and then set up a delay for notification, or set up a notification for the power consumption levels, and as soon as that power consumption levels drop to 0, issue yourself a SwitchBot API notification reminding you that the washing is ready. So yeah, there's plenty of different ways that you can get really clever with smart plugs that are equipped with a power meter. But not everything is perfect. Obviously you're aware of the first problem, which is this is US only right now, and I'll have to wait for the UK edition, which is simply annoying because I want one now. And the second problem is with how SwitchBot is storing that power usage data. Right now, what you get is an aggregated figure for the power usage of a day. Now, yes, you do have a live information from the plug, and you probably will have to use SwitchBot API to extract that data if you want to have more detailed charts either per minute or per hour. But as it stands of now, all you get in the historical data is basically aggregated view of the daily consumption of the device, which is, well, it's not good enough. I hope the SwitchBot will listen to my feedback and change that so we could have maybe a week of more granular data before it's gonna get averaged and stored in the cloud this way. But until then, you'll have to probably work with SwitchBot API to extract that data and get more control. If you're interested on how to work with SwitchBot API, there's a video there for you. But all issues aside, this is actually pretty good smart plug, especially considering its price point. I mean, it's $11.99 right now, and with a nice discount code you can get it as low for around $8.50 to $9, which, let's face it, for a smart plug with a power meter, it's like next to nothing. You know, I do not have a posting schedule, so if you want to know more about what's next, you know how it works, I'm not going to explain all that. But if you want to get in touch or send me some interesting items and links, follow me on any given social media, as this is the best way to get in touch and keep the conversation going. So, big thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.